We just wanted to kind of round this out a little bit with a conversation about member education. Cynthia and Joe talked a little bit about that, how, even if you're not doing anything else, you don't necessarily have to be able to follow what NAFQ brought here. I know for a lot of us it was, intense, but your members do need to know at least about the scams that are going on out there. They need to understand it. If you have members who think that there is gold in Fort Knox backing up every dollar in your pocket, that's something you want to just let them know, no, that actually doesn't exist anymore, because that will help them understand that the value of a dollar is the fact that you can walk into a store and buy a Coke with it. You can use it to purchase things, whereas, and that's why there's no reason to think that Bitcoin won't have that you can, Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. But we named the conference Beyond Bitcoin, and I just want to put that out there because we do feel that this is not really about Bitcoin, and whether Bitcoin raises, goes up in value, goes down in value, even if Bitcoin became completely obsolete, I personally believe, and you're all welcome to challenge me. Joe, please come up and challenge me on this. Why? I can argue this. I can't argue a lot of things, but this I can argue. I really think that there is always going to be the world is moving in in the direction of digital assets. I know we had somebody earlier who asked about, how is the blockchain going to affect our lives? And the fact is we really don't know. But the technology is there. If anybody here read Crypto Dad, he makes a very strong argument about the outdated financial system that is the United States financial system. And the blockchain can really help us take it to the next level. So even if Bitcoin goes away completely, which I don't think it will, but even if it does, even if it goes down tremendously in value, that's really irrelevant to the conversation we're having here today, which is about digital assets, how the world is changing, and how you need to educate your members. Yes, you can do some cool things like Visions Federal Credit Union is. You can do a lot of different things with cryptocurrency, but even if you don't, just educating members is a big step. So we don't want to kind of take that away from you. That's something that's there. We also want to talk a little bit about what member education looks like. And we had guests who walked in here just from being hotel guests. And we asked them, how much do you feel you need to know? And they already, just in the first minute that they started talking, we heard a lot of misconceptions. So my question to you is, and I'd love to pass the mic around and give everybody a chance here, what do you think members need to know? How much education do you want your members to have?
So I will add to this because it's interesting. I speak to credit unions every single day, and I recently just had a really good conversation with the credit union down in Alabama, and she opened up by saying, I'm only talking to you because my son told me I should. Now, her son has no affiliation with the credit union. He just simply said to her, your credit union members need to at least know about cryptocurrency and what's happening right now, whether or not you choose to offer it as position it, as a member loyalty program, whatever, there is some aspect of education that they need to have. And that was her son telling her this. So who was very involved in crypto, is what she said. So she said, I just need you to kind of take me through what you guys as a company are offering, what Giver is, and how I could get involved, and how my members can easily get involved too. So we kind of talked through the process, and she said, okay. So I said, okay. That's usually how my conversations end with most credit unions. So she said, okay, I'm going to sit and think about this because there's a lot of information here that you gave me. There's a lot that I need to digest. And I said, well, let's talk through something. If someone came into your credit union today and said, what can you tell me about cryptocurrency? I said, what would you say to them? And she said, not much, probably. And I said, well, that's an honest answer. So you want to at least be able to have a basic conversation with your members so that you could position yourselves as the thought leaders, as someone that your members can come to and at least answer the questions that they're asking, right? And if you can't answer the question, you could at least say, hey, I have a resource who I can ask the questions to and who can give us an answer. So at least they know that there is support within this space and that it's not just something that the credit union is kind of like hard no. definitely we're going to pass on that one, or we just don't know enough. So at least positioning yourselves as a go-to, as a resource for your members, I think is very important. And she definitely agreed with that. So my conversations with credit unions have definitely shifted from, let's get the wallet set up, let's get you on Coinbase, let's do this, let's transfer, let's do everything, to, okay, let's take a step back and let's just talk about what's happening right now. Let's talk about reality and what your questions are and what your members' questions are. So I think that we've kind of pivoted a little bit in terms of the conversation, and let's just start with the education component first before we, jump full. But then I talk to credit unions. They're like, "Yep, we're doing this now. Let's set up my wallet, set up my Coinbase, and I'm ready to go." And then I've had a handful who have actually positioned it as a loyalty program, and they have a whole strategy in place to implement it. I don't think it's full throttle for them yet, but it is something that is on their scope of their marketing plan to implement relatively soon.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about loyalty programs. A lot of credit unions have loyalty programs, whether it's for using the credit card or it's referring new members or whatever behavior you want your members to repeat. You reward them. It's something that across all industries, airlines, credit card companies, everybody's has a loyalty program. Some of them work better than others. There are a lot of reasons. We're not going to get into them all now. I'm happy to send you to an article that Lou actually put out. It wasn't yours? Yeah, you have an article on, I think it was Credit Union Journal, about, this is a member loyalty programs based on the blockchain. Yeah, okay. So I don't want to get too into it, but there's definitely a future for that. A lot of the issues with member loyalty programs go away when you're on the blockchain. But what I want to point out is that when we talk about member education, a lot of people don't want to get into the weeds. They don't want to hear all the details. They don't want to know all that, all the information. They don't necessarily need to. What I'm going to argue here is that if we can get members using the blockchain, if we can get them using cryptocurrency, then they see there's nothing magic about it. It's not a big deal. They understand what they need to understand, meaning we would never invite members into the credit union and try to explain what goes on behind the scenes when they make a deposit, when they take out a withdrawal. Nobody really needs to know that. Do they need to know how the ATM works? They know it works. They have confidence in it. Because cryptocurrency is so new, I would like to see credit union members roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty. And I know that means setting up a wallet, which we know can be complex, and we don't necessarily want everybody setting up wallets. I also believe that going forward, you're not going to have to do much to set up a wallet, meaning if you think about computers in general, years ago, there was, if you wanted to run a computer, you had to go to school for it. Today, any kid in kindergarten can open a computer or a tablet and find things we don't even want them finding and do things they can do whatever they want on it. And they're smarter than we are sometimes. So it's just because the technology is so developed, we don't necessarily need to know everything. One of the things that we're working on right now is and this is a prototype for the website. This is for Giver, and it is a member loyalty program. This actually is semi-operational. What Nicole's saying is she speaks to credit unions. There is a coin called Giver. We're not sure if it's going to be regulated or not. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I'm sure Andrew would have a lot to say about that. But we're right now, it just exists as something that credit unions can sign up for. Right now, we're giving it away for free to a limited amount. So everybody here, you can be in touch with Nicole afterwards. We thought we'd do it here. We don't have time for it. I don't want to spend time on it. We're just going to take a quick overview of Giver so you can see what it looks like. And I'd be open to anybody who wants to see this developed one way or another. One of the concepts on the table is to create this in a way that at the click of a button, you could create a wallet for your members so your members don't have to go through the work. You like that? Okay, my concern with it is that by making it too easy, we're taking away the learning experience, and the whole idea of Giver was educational. However, having said that, what I just said before, eventually it's going to be very easy to sign up a wallet. So by bypassing the wallet setup, we're giving them an opportunity to use it, to see there's nothing scary about it. We can do this, no big deal. And even if the coins don't do anything yet, even if they can't do anything, they can't redeem it for anything, just the fact that they're dabbling in it is to me a positive educational experience. Yeah? Any questions on that? Anybody have anything to say about that? No? Okay. So let's look at this. I was hoping you wouldn't, so. Okay.
I just wanted to add, I see the value for both members and employees.
Okay. One thing I'll say, Cynthia, is very few credit unions have as many employees as you do. So, but that's right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I will say, even if a credit union has 10 employees, you want those employees to be knowledgeable when they come into the credit union.
Correct. It's a good education opportunity for employees.
Yeah, yeah, and you're also showing your members that you're on top of this. You're not, very often credit unions have the reputation, not yours, but credit unions often have, smaller credit unions have the reputation of not being as capable as, as able to do things as banks can. By showing them that we're in on this, we know what's going on. To whatever degree your involvement in cryptocurrency is, that could be a positive. Okay, so for your employees and your members, we're gonna. I thought you were going to tell me how to get this to work. Okay, so this is the prototype of a website. Like I said, not quite working yet. As a credit union, you would have an account here, and it would allow you to control and the accounts you have with your members, your members' giver accounts, your members' wallets. You could put money into it. Let's see if that works, and see how it's working. I'm sorry, I'm going to sit down so I can just do this. You can buy cryptocurrency. So this is, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so welcome to Giver. You have the beginning of the website here. It's just telling you what's going on. Member management, this is where you could put in, members could request crypto. You can actually transfer it to them. The next thing you have here is buy tokens. So you would be able to buy tokens directly here. One of the unique things about Giver is this is not something that would be available to anyone besides from credit union. So the only way to get this is if you're a credit union, and the only way for consumers to get it is from their credit union. So we would love to see this be used as a new member recruitment kind of thing, where you can get new members, because if they want this cryptocurrency, if we can make it attractive enough, then they're going to have to join a credit union to get it. You can tie it to different activities so that it can be a loyalty program. And if you have any questions, okay. And then there's knowledge base. There's like a lot of information here. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There's a lot here, but if anybody wants it, just email me and I will send you a link so you can go through this yourself. And I'm happy to do this over the phone with anyone. Yes, let's just give you a microphone.
So is this a coin, or is this another service like Coinbase?
It's a real coin, and it's not available on Coinbase. So I'm glad you asked that question, because Coinbase is an exchange. This is not an exchange, and it's not affiliated with any, it's not available on any exchange. Okay, so it's actually not on the test net. It is on the real net. We originally were going to create it as a token. We decided for educational purposes, why are we on the test net? Let's do this the right way. On the other hand, that might have been a mistake. We can always go back and create a new crypto, so not worried about it. Only because if we're going to be more heavily regulated, then we don't want that.
I guess what's
We're not hearing you. Just talk straight. Just talk into it.
sorry. What's confusing me is has to do with the fact that it looks like you can set up a wallet and everything with this. So it almost sounds like it's an exchange like Coinbase. So that's where I'm a little confused right now.
Right, so in order to set this up, you would actually have to set up your own wallet in Coinbase. Okay, then you'd set up a Rabbit account, and then you'd be able to get Giver tokens. Coins, I don't want to get too caught up in the technicalities of that right now, but this is not nearly as robust as Coinbase. I mean, we tell people to go to Coinbase, and in fact, that would be the first thing I would do. If anybody wants to just take a step right now, go back to your credit unions and write an article, or we can provide an article for you telling people, go to Coinbase. Open an account. This is the best way you're going to learn, and this might even be better. This whole thing may be irrelevant. We may be better off just telling people, go to Coinbase, open an account, set up a wallet. They have exceptional videos there. The best information I've seen so far has been with Coinbase. So and you get rewarded, like Trish mentioned before. You can watch a video, answer some questions, and you're going to get free crypto. So to me, I mean, we don't want to reinvent the wheel now. That may be all we need. We may just need to tell members and employees, go to Coinbase and get started and ask us your questions. Start a conversation. And I feel like a lot of it is we don't have all the answers. We don't necessarily need to answer questions, but we need to know what are the right questions to ask. And that's kind of the next step for a lot of us.
So this would be like an example of how to set up a wallet.
Okay, this
as
is
a tutorial.
so this is what this is really is a way for credit unions to transfer money to transfer coins, transfer this type of cryptocurrency to their members. And again, we're not sure there's a need for it. We're not sure that this is, but if we can bypass the wallet through this, that might be a solution for a lot of people. Again, I really believe that within a few years, maybe even months, you're going to be seeing wallet technology get a lot easier. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? No, we're good? Okay. Joe, come on up.
Less of a question, more of a comment, and I actually like your suggestion, but I'll use the mic.
Can you come up so you're on the live stream so people can see you?
Avoiding the live stream last time I was up there anyways. My statement would be, and so you mentioned Coinbase pretty strongly, and so I'll just give a little pause on one solicitation of any specific exchange. So for us as credit unions, one, helping our members be more educated about what they're going to use, whether it be buying and selling from us or using other exchanges. There's pros and cons to all of them. But certain ones are getting probably beat up more or less. So one thing that's very important, Coinbase as a standard member, you're actually an undeaded investor to them. So when you go on and buy your coin, you don't actually own your coin. So making sure that when you do say, hey, here's some education, go to Coinbase, buy a coin, make sure they're setting up their own wallet actually still. It sounds like, oh, well, Coinbase has my wallet. Well, it's not actually how Coinbase works. Some other exchanges, you do have to own your own, and that's one of the reasons for us with NYDIG. NYDIG actually is a custodial relationship one-on-one with your member. It is still third party, but it is actually their coins. They own them. It is assigned to you. It is not owned by NYDIG. Coinbase actually does it the inverse way. Coinbase owns your coin, and you're giving them money to hold the coin for you. So if Coinbase were to go belly up, they would say, hey, sorry, I don't have any money for you, and I don't have any of your coins. So just that's where education, again, goes into this like huge component around a lot of this stuff, where most people didn't even realize that. And when Coinbase dropped, was it 3 months ago when that K1 came out? So it was always been known, and if you were like a crypto-heavy guy, you probably understood it. But the hard part was it finally became pretty well publicified that, hey, this is how you actually own crypto on Coinbase. So just being very aware of certain exchanges. And so I love the go do it. Just be cautious on what you're telling your member to do without fully understanding.
No, that's great, Joe. Thank you.
Sorry.
And I was not aware of that. Thank you very much. Stay here, Joe. Stay. We're not done.
Come on.
Thank you very much,
We
Joe.
have
No,
a
I think that's
panel at
awesome.
like 4. I'll be
Let's-
back up.
I know. And we have Larry in a minute. But really, thank you, Joe. I did not know that, but I just want to clarify, when we're talking about going to Coinbase, I'm not telling anybody that invest your life savings or even 10% of your savings portfolio, investment portfolio. We're saying put $5, put $10 into it just to play it, just to learn it. So, but that is great to know. And I think we're going to put out an article about that so people understand that. But again, this just highlights how little most people know about it, and even people who think they know, they don't. So
There's so many nuances to all this stuff. So that's why
just call Joe.
Don't do that, because I don't know anything either. I just read a lot. But I would just say yes, whether it's $5 or it's your life savings, who knows what you should do. I don't know the right answer. So that's why we just had another employee conversation with one of our regional branch groups. And that was kind of our main push, was we're not in the business of telling our members what to do. We're in the business of educating them. And so this is just another piece of that. So we actually we've rolled out, or NYDIG's offered a free $5 to everybody. I had a pretty big pause about, is that okay? From a reputation risk standpoint, like if I'm giving them $5, I'm like kind of encouraging them to do it. So whether I even say $5, isn't that kind of an encouragement in that direction? We don't even give people $5 to set up a savings account. So how do I get there? So I think there's that balance, right, of education versus giving them a nudge. So just make sure it's focused on the education, and then continue clarity for yourselves and others.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Joe, because I think that's another big piece of it. Education does not mean endorsement. We're not telling, like you say, we're not telling them what to do, and we're not pushing people to invest in crypto. People are like, oh, I know I should have invested. Well, no, maybe you shouldn't have. This isn't about investing. If you're not an investor, if you don't have a stomach for risk, if this is not the kind of thing you want to do, and for a lot of people, they look at it as gambling, and it's fun, and try a little bit, but they need to just know, like you say, they need to, and as credit unions, we don't want to push them one way or another. I mean, the $5 doesn't bother me so much as if it's going to stay the $5 and you're giving it to them. To me, that's educational. But on the other hand, you do want to make sure they understand that this isn't necessarily something that the credit union is endorsing.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Thank you so much, Joe.